Hello again, everybody. Here we have a tie rod assembly. It's made of 3 parts here, which we have here in the bags. Got new parts, and I'll show you guys how to assemble these. It's pretty straightforward. My very first car that I had, I thought needed tie rods. It was probably actually a pitman arm. I had the tie rods replaced by a backyard mechanic such as myself. However, this backyard mechanic did not measure the tie rods. He just put them on. And my alignment was so bad that basically the tires were pulling on each other when I would drive so bad that it would jerk the steering wheel to the left and then to the right and then to the left. I could literally drive about 3 miles an hour, and I literally just crawled that poor Nova to the alignment shop, and they were able to correct it. But you have to make sure, I mean, especially if it was in good alignment before, you have to be dead sure that your new parts are the same length as the old one. That should be pretty obvious. But apparently it's not, because obviously I had somebody do mine when I was young, and they fucked it up. So here's how not to fuck it up. We start by taking a few measurements. So first of all, I'm going to take my parts out. Okay, that looks about the same. Everything is the same. I'm going to measure the center of that to where the threads are here. It doesn't really matter how many are showing so much as it is the distance between center and the ending right there. And you could probably get by with a tape measure to do this, but it would be much better if you have dial calipers. So with these, you just gotta set up your shit somewhere. Oh, this is a total wreck. But so then we just take this. Okay, the dial calipers this way here. The reason why I like dial calipers is because you can really just get right in there, and you do kind of have to eyeball it, but it's still way better, more accurate than trying anything else. So looking at that eyeball right there, I'm not really looking at the dial, I'm just looking at my two edges to make sure they're lined up, and then we'll just hold that and make our reading. So that's where we're at. It looks like 2.57. So the new one needs to be that long as well when we thread it into the collar. So I'm going to write that down. This is our inner tie rod. We have our inner tie rod. Over here we have a collar. First thing I'm going to do is make sure the collars are the same length. Our factory collar is 4.75, 4 3/4 exactly. This one is also, oh no, look at that, it's longer. Ah! See? This is why you measure. Look. We measure this. We have here. I don't just watch the dial right there. You know, it's upside down to you guys, but it reads 4.76, 755. This one here reads 4.81. So it's considerably longer. So we are going to have to compensate for that, but for our overall length. What really matters is overall length. So we just have to note that yes, this one is slightly longer than the other one. So 2.570 minus 60 thousandths is 2.510. So now we're going to measure 2.510. Besides, that's too long still. Oops. Still got a ways to go. That's pretty good right there. So I'm just going to go ahead and clamp that. So I'm not going to tighten it down all the way, but I can't really move that right now. So this is going to go in like that. Bolt is fairly horizontal. And now I'm just going to double check my distance to here to see how close it is after it's actually tightened down. So we're looking like we got it. Yeah, I'd say that's pretty dang close to 2.51. Next is the outer tie rods. This one will be a little bit easier because it's got the hole in the center right there, so we'll be able to measure from that to the other end. So starting with our old one, we're looking at, damn it, there goes all kinds of shit. So I'll just measure to the center of the grease zerk here, so I can probably get a more accurate measure on this one. Alrighty, we're looking like 6.37, no, 6.350. Yeah, 6.350. Okay, so we already made our compensation for the collar, so we can just make this one as close to 6.350 as possible, and then take a final measurement and try to get that close. That is our plan. And of course we have to make sure, one other thing, so this goes in, actually it's like this, inner tie rod, outer tie rod, and you have to note the angles. They're like not quite 90 degrees, it's a little bit more than that. If we look at this relationship here, this one is, it's probably like 95 degrees actually. It's just a little bit obtuse. Still looks longer. I'm just eyeballing it still. That looks about right. Okay, now I'm going to actually measure it and see. So 6.350 is what we're aiming for. So we went a little, we're not quite there, we still got like 6.53. So I gotta do another full revolution. I want to again make sure my angles are correct. Still we're at like 5.0, so I'd say maybe like 2 or 3 more revolutions. Got a few more threads out. There we are. It can be a little bit of a tedious process, but you want to get it as close as you can. There we are. 6.350. That's where it needs to be. So now, when I compare this, maybe like this, these should be a lot more similar. The Zerks should pretty much line up, and it looks like they pretty much do. So I'm going to go ahead and go with that for now. I'm not quite done. I want to go ahead and assemble the next one. I'm not going to go ahead and tighten this clamp just yet. I'm going to leave it just so nothing moves. This is already pretty tight. The other one was really loose, like I could really move it, so I tightened the clamp down to secure that one and get the orientation of the bolt correct, because I want the bolts to be facing down and horizontally in, which is what they're supposed to do. And again, the clamp, this part of the clamp should not intersect this. This is correct. You don't want this to be in here. It'll cause damage. Here we have a straight edge. We can measure the entire thing. 13 and 9/16 is what it is. We're going to do the same thing with this one here. From the center to the grease zerk. Don't really have a grease zerk, but it is looking like it's the exact same length. So it does help to measure the small parts with an accurate type of measurement. We don't have to make any additional adjustments on here, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten this up. I'm not going to like finally torque these either, do a final torque, because I'm going to let the alignment shop deal with that. I'm just going to get them kind of tight to where they ain't going nowhere. Let the alignment shop finish it off. That's good enough. So this one's done. This one's ready to go inside of the truck. Here's our other tie rod. So we're going to do the same thing. 6.56. Overall it's 14 on this tie rod. Bam. That's it right there. And we're going for 6.560. There we are. I think we nailed it right there. So I'm going to line that up, tighten up the clamps. I want to get it to where that thing is still able to be moved by hand, but it's like a snug fit. Almost there. No. There we go. Check my overall. The best I can anyway. I mean, again, it already came out of alignment here. It's got to be like this. Just like this. It still moves way too easily. Now it will actually stay. Alright, this one looks like it's going to come up a little bit short. So I'm going to back it out a rev. There we go. That's looking much better. We got it centered here. And looking like it's right at 14. Alright. Just tighten that up. And that should be pretty damn close. Our alignment will probably be off. That's expected. Just gonna tighten it again. Not crazy tight, because again the alignment shop's going to have to loosen these up and tighten them up again anyhow, but it's got to be tight enough to drive to the alignment shop safely, which is about 10 miles away. On country roads, you know, I'll take the back roads. Take it slow. And there's our other tie rod. Sweet. Put the grease zerks in. And that, my friends, is how you build tie rods at home without specialized crazy measuring tools. Then you take it in for an alignment. Don't try to just do this and think you're going to be able to drive away You might get lucky, but probably not. And we're back over here at the driver's side fender well. Getting ready to put in our tie rod. And then we're going to go ahead and no, I'm debating on whether or not to put the shock mount in on the upper side now. I don't think I want to do that. Yeah, and there's a reason for that. When I took this apart, I had to have clearance here to get to this bolt, which is going to go right in here. So, and I can't really put that on until I have the lower control arm in place, and I can't do that until I get the bushings in, which are not here today. They might show up later this afternoon or maybe tomorrow. But until those show up, we can't do any more work there. Basically, we're pretty much stuck. Can't do any other work on the vehicle until then. Yeah, at least, I mean, we can, I just don't want to. I don't want to put the hub in here and just have it hanging off the axle here without anything. You know, I could hang it off of that, but that's stupid. That's just stupid. So we can only get so far, but might as well go ahead and get as much done as possible. So we'll go ahead and attach this tie rod end here. I wonder if I got these wrong, because look at this. No, that can't be. Definitely did this right. I just put them together wrong. I mean, it looks okay, but for some reason I thought this was coming in from the other side, but you can clearly see that that's definitely not the case. It doesn't do that at all. I tried putting it in from that side and it says no. So I assembled this correctly. I just put these on upside down, so I will take the time to loosen those, flip them 180 degrees down so that the bolts are horizontal. Yeah, whoops. My bad, I had my shit backwards. I honestly thought it mounted from the other side of the fucking relay rod right there, but that's actually where the nut goes. Right. Okay, moving forward. I gotta go find the castle nut that I lost, because it's fucking gone. I picked it up here and I didn't see shit. And before we do that, I totally forgot I need to install grease zerks. So we gotta grab some hardware. I totally don't know where the castle nut is on this. It's gone, and I gotta find it. Maybe it's in the box somewhere. On my tool bench somewhere. I have no idea. All I know is it's not here, and that's not cool.